Well, good afternoon. Today I wanted to do a quick review of this Bobcat 90-inch finish mower. So when I was shopping for this thing, I couldn't really find any info on it, so here's some information on it. I'll try to make it pretty simple and quick relatively. I'll do a quick walk around of the mower and then go over things I really like about it. Or well, I'll start off with things I don't like about it and then talk about things I really do like about it. So here's a quick walk around. And just to address the elephant in the room, no, a tracked skid steer is not the ideal machine for this mower, but as you'll see, I make do, and it does really well. But no, I think this mower was mainly designed for a Bobcat toolcat. As a matter of fact, when I reached out to the Bobcat dealership that I bought this at used, the guy asked what I was going to put it on, and I told him that, you know, Kubota tracked skid steer, and he was like, yeah, they're actually not really meant for that. But it works well. You'll see. I mean, I have to take wide sweeping turns as opposed to being able to be a little more nimble and easy on the grass like you would be with a toolcat, but it does the job. So yeah, like I say, this is 90-inch cut. There's 3 sets of blades. You can adjust the height with these spacers. It's all very well greasable everywhere. And then these are just swivel casters. And then this, I'll talk about more later, is like a slip hitch, so it can float separately from the machine, which is awesome. So that's just kind of what it looks like. And yeah, like I say, there's 3 sets of blades. There's a hydraulic motor in the middle, and then there's a belt to each blade. So some of the things, I guess, that I would say, there's only really 2 things that I would say I don't like. And one of them is kind of both a con and a pro. I'll talk about that first. So there's a safety system on these that when you go to pick up the mower, this axle is spring loaded, so these tires will go down, and then there's a switch in there and it shuts the motor off to the mower. It's a safety device. It makes sense, I guess, but it would cause problems when I would go to back up. These casters would have pressure on them, and so they'd bind in the dirt, and then this axle would go down and it'd shut the mower off every time. And so I bypassed that. I'm sure they wouldn't recommend it, but I drilled a hole through here and put a bolt through this beam, and so now it's fixed and it works great, and I can mow forward and reverse without those casters binding up. So that's how I addressed that. So not a big deal, but that was an annoyance for sure. Another thing, I guess, and like I say, it's both a con and a pro, is it's a little clunky. So this slip hitch works wonders, and it's really the only way to make it work so well and have it be able to float separately from the machine. But it is kind of clunky when you're mowing it. You can hear it clunking up and down, as I'm sure you'll hear in some of the footage. So kind of an annoyance, but it's way worth it to have that because it's very user friendly and easy to run because of that slip hitch. So yeah, those are the only really 2 cons I would say I had with it. I really like this mower, and it's super quick. So I'll get going on to some footage and things I do like about it. Well, I already mowed this spot up here that I'm going to go over, but I just wanted to show how well the mower can articulate separately of the skid steer for little sections like this. It's pretty impressive. I mean, it can move up and down probably over a foot, so I'll show that to you. Well, right here in this clip, I just wanted to demonstrate kind of how it floats to the contour of the ground when there's a breakover like this. In this pass right here, you can see it scalps the ground and gets into the dirt, which I normally don't do that. I just mainly wanted to show how well the mower sticks to the ground like that, even on uneven surfaces. Right here is just another angle, also showing how the mower floats independently of the machine. You can kind of see it twist right there. The machine is on flatter ground than what the mower is.
Just kind of wanted to show that from a different angle, so not only can it float front to back, it also articulates side to side as well, and probably near a foot of movement each way, I would bet. Right here, I just wanted to show an example of how quality of a cut this thing makes. The blades are pretty dull. That grass is about a foot tall, and one pass, not going overly slow, it cuts really clean. Well, in this time lapse, it kind of demonstrates just how much ground you can cover in one pass. You're cutting nearly 8 feet at a pass, so you can really cover some acreage in a pretty short amount of time, even if you're not moving quickly. Also, that turn right there just shows kind of how I make really wide sweeping turns to not disturb the ground too much. And it's actually not too bad on the ground as long as you're intentional and pretty ginger with it. Mowing speed, obviously this is a time lapse, but you can cut the grass as fast as you can take it pretty much. It gets too rough and bumpy in the track machine, so I definitely don't push the mower to the, past the speed it can handle. It cuts just fine at the speed that I travel. Well, this would hardly be a mowing video without showing how the mower does with uncut grass, and tall stuff that hasn't been cut all year. This is probably 2 to 3 feet tall in spots, and I mean, it does really well with it. One pass, it definitely cuts it down how it should. I go back and forth a couple times, pretty much just to mulch it up because it's so thick. It's looks like you could run a swather behind and make a hay bale out of that. So I just kind of run back and forth on it a few times, but in one pass, as you see, it does a really good job.
Well, this isn't exactly OSHA approved, but here is the underside of the deck. Boy, those are very dull, and it still cuts extremely well. So I could only imagine if I touch those up how well it will cut. So that's what the 3 blades look like. Definitely heavy duty. I mean, they're, I don't know, over a 1/4 of an inch thick, or a 1/4 of an inch, I bet. Well, hopefully this video helps somebody who's considering this mower. I've been really happy with it so far. And you can do some, I don't know if I'd say brush cutting, but it can handle some sticks here and there, and it doesn't seem to cause any damage. I've mowed over some, 1.5-inch round sticks and chewed them up and spit them out, and there's no sign of damage or scuffs or dents or anything in the mower deck. So it seems to be a really good all-around mower for what I do. And it definitely cut down the mowing times on larger areas, even though the mower I had before this was a 65-inch flail mower. That was still great, but it's only a 65-inch cut. And so this, being 90 inches, makes an exponential difference when you're mowing, an acre or 2 at a time. It's really nice. And you can mow trails kind of like it shows in this footage right here, and it does okay. Trails are a little bit too wide, I would say, but it is what it is. Well, hopefully that helps somebody, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Thank you.